Hello guys and welcome. Okay, today I'm going to have a quick video, on how to solve the SRS light staying on an MG ZR. I think I know what the fix is, so I'll leave a timestamp where to skip if you want to see what the fix is at the end. But I'm going to see if any of these tools here will help us get into the computer, because with the MG ZR and a Rover 25, I know a lot of people have trouble with these OBD scanners actually reading. I've tried this one before, it wouldn't rig up. People are on about little tricks you can do where you hotwire two of the pins inside, but that didn't work. This super cheap one I bought online did actually speak to the car, and it's a pretty good thing, so I'll show you how that works. That's really good. But I borrowed this one off my old man as well. I want to see if this one's going to speak to it. So I'll hook up, because I know the Bluetooth one will speak to the car. I'll try this one first and I'll screen record and I'll let you know how it's going, and see if we pick up any of these codes. So in the ZR, the OBD scanner, see where the clutch pedal is. The OBD plug is just around the corner here. But yeah, as you can see, half of those pins do absolutely nothing. So a lot of these scanners don't plug in and speak, so we'll move over now to the next one and we'll see if we can get it to speak to the car. Okay, this is the app I downloaded. It's called Car Scanner. I fast forwarded some of this, but as you can see on the screen, you can save cars in there once you've connected up to them, and you can click between the ones you want. So click back to the MG, click the big connect button at the bottom. I sped up some of these bits, but it's loading because you don't want to be watching it all. But this bit took about 15 seconds before it started speaking, after it recognised the car. So then I clicked in to actually check the codes just by pressing the button. It says to read codes. There's a few other things you can do on here, but I just want to read the code, so I'm reading all codes here. You can just do a very basic scan. Again, I've sped this up. This took about 30 seconds in real time, but I'm not going to make you wait for that. So as you can see, after I did the scan, it comes back, said there was no DTC codes found, which is great news. Wasn't expecting there to be any. Then it's literally a case of exiting the app, disconnect from the car before you do, because it connects via Bluetooth, and that's job done. Okay, so the Bluetooth one found the computer, spoke to the computer in the car, but didn't find any faults. I'm not expecting it to find any faults, but while I'm here, in case there are any faults, I'm going to try this one. My old man bought this one because he thought it'd do all the stuff you needed to do, and in fairness, I plugged it in on the Alpha and I plugged it in on the Honda, and it's found faults and sorted them. So I'll just plug it into the OBD and we'll see what happens. Okay, well, I'm not expecting a huge amount to happen here, but we'll see. You never know. It's been good. So click diagnose. Okay. Now if this even hooks up and recognises the car, that'll be a good sign. I say this red one, that was one of the cheapest OBD scanners I could get. And I bought that one out of focus. And I kept getting a management light up, and I bought that and that identified as the O2 sensor, which it was, which was really good. But when I had the O2 sensor issue on this car, when I had the management light on, it wasn't thing. Oh, so there you go. So this has actually linked up, and it does recognise the car. So read codes. So that's so the vehicle has no fault codes, like I expected. So that's really good to see. So I tell you what, I might get into this a bit deeper one day. And you know, when I get a management light on, I'll try this one. But I'm actually quite happy that's found the car, because that other one I was trying to hotwire it and all sorts, crossing the pins over and everything. So back to our light. I'll show you how to fix that now. I'm pretty sure I know what it is. Common fault on these cars. Let me pack away the OBD sensor and we'll get stuck into it. Yeah, so as I said, on these cars, this SRS light is a common issue. I'm hoping this will be it here. It's the SRS light actually means airbag, but chances are it's going to be this sensor here, the seat. I mean, it's hanging down quite loose. I could probably make that a lot neater, but this is what it's going to be. Unplug this, give it a good spray with electrical contact cleaner. I'll do the same on the passenger side, and I dare say that'll be our problem solved. So I'm not going to be able to do this with one hand, so I'll be back to you now. Okay guys, that's what I did. I pulled the plug apart, gave it a good spray with this. It's only cheap stuff, but it's good for the contact cleaner. Gave it a good spray of this, reattached it. Under the passenger seat, someone's been in there and actually soldered those two wires together, so I doubt very much that that side's an issue. So fingers crossed, this should be light off now. If not, we've got some digging to do. Fingers crossed, guys. Ignition on, light off. So there we go. That's what you get. You get this SRS light. The thing is, if you look in the Haynes manual, you check what the Haynes manual says, it will come up and say that's an airbag fault. It's not necessarily an airbag fault. Obviously double check. But the first thing to do, that's free, that's easy, as long as you don't mind kneeling on the floor. Just pull that little plug out from underneath your seat. Check that, give it a spray, put it back together. If you put it back together and your light goes off, it saves you a lot of money. Obviously if the light hasn't gone off, get it checked properly, because obviously if it is an airbag light or there's something wrong with your airbag, better to get it fixed than to drive around just with the light off and ignoring it. So there you go. I hope that's helpful for someone. Nice quick easy fix. It's not going to cost me any money, but there's plenty of other things I need doing on this car. MOT's due in November, so I'm going to be jacking up the back. I think there's a couple of bushes that might need changing, a bit of a gator. I'm going to need to change the front discs and pads because they're getting a little bit grumbly, a little bit whiny. So if anyone's interested in seeing that, I'll bring you along. And then there's that. More work needs doing on that. I've got a knock on the front end of the Alpha. Not entirely sure what it is. Thinking it might be the upper wishbones. But either way, we've got to get that up in the air, suss out what it is, and then take it on a good few drives. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope this is a little bit helpful. And I'll see you on the next one. And we'll take this car for a few nice drives, because this thing is an absolute dream to drive, honestly. Cheers, guys. Till the next one.